Alright. Hello, my name is Rowan, and this is Route 76, sexy little music podcast by a sexy little bitch. So this is just gonna be a quick little introduction before we really get into all of the things. Also, I use they, them pronouns, so I'll put that out there. Now, this podcast is just gonna be a bunch of dumbasses yelling, if I'm fully honest. There's no real technical stuff on music. It's kind of just going to be idiots yelling about our opinions, and that's okay. There's 4 different types of episodes that I have planned out so far. This is the first type. It's just a solo episode. It's just me. It's just me talking. This is probably going to be like my least popular type, if I'm honest. Second type is what's going to be actually even more common. It's going to be guest episodes. So I'm going to have somebody else on here, and we're going to both yell about our opinions. And I think that's better because I think we should all yell about our opinions with somebody else. And the third type is going to be, it's going to be, I am a musician myself. I am something of a musicer. So the third type is basically going to be me trying to perform a song. Those are going to be very, very far less common because I do not like to perform songs that are not completely perfected. Unfortunately, I'm very, very picky on how I do in performance, so those will be very rare, but they will happen, hopefully. Those will be covers and maybe even original songs as I get further on, because I do write some. After that, there's the fourth and final kind. Also probably will maybe happen once every few months at most, but it's going to be literally a giant group Discord call with my friends from the server who helped come up with this. Those are going to be fucking chaotic, and it's going to have the most number of dumbasses involved. That's going to be fun as hell. I'm sorry. So, just some quick backstory on this, I guess. Route 76, I guess I should probably explain how I came up with the name. So, the name is my dad's graduation year, 1976. It's when he graduated from high school. And he's the biggest influence in my life musically. He's always introduced me to his favorite bands, his favorite artists, his favorite music, and I took to it at a young age, and it's stuck with me for most of my life. So, it seemed really unfair to have a music podcast and not have it be named after him. Alright, anything else before we get into it? Oh, socials. For the guest episodes, anybody is more than welcome to be a guest. I am more than happy to have anybody on. If you are not a close friend of mine, I would prefer you to be 18 and over just for my own comfort. Not that there's any inappropriate content in this show. It's just for me to be comfortable. I'd rather not. But beyond that, you can message me on any of my social media. That's Route76_podcast. On Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and Route 76 dash podcast on Tumblr. I made it different, and then I didn't feel like changing it because I'm a dumbass. But dumbassery aside, this is in fact a music podcast, and I should probably start talking about music. So, welcome to episode 1. This one's going to be all about my personal all-time favorite artist, because who else would it be? Bruce Springsteen, the boss. Now I wanted to do this episode. I wanted to do this episode so bad. And I'm going to try not to go into too in-depth to anything because I want to leave myself open to future episodes on him because I want to make so many episodes on him. I love Bruce Springsteen. He is such an amazing artist. He's such an amazing writer. Actually, we'll start off with that. He's an incredible writer. I mean, I aspire to write like this man does. He is an amazing storyteller. I mean, as a writer myself, I want to be able to tell stories that well. It's amazing. He's just incredible. I mean, his songs bring me to tears. And the thing is, that's not even all him. It's not always the lyrics. It is the lyrics, but it's not all the lyrics. It's the sound too. That's the E Street Band. The E Street Band is the sound. I mean, his voice is there. Yeah, that's important, but it's the E Street Band. It's also why I hate Nebraska, which we'll get into later. And I love Clarence Clemens. we'll get into so much of this later, but right now I'm going to talk about his writing a little more. And I mean, he is, honest to God, such an amazing storyteller. I'm trying to come up with better words. I know there's more for me to say about this. He can paint a picture, an image so vivid that you can see it and you can understand it and you can experience it, even if you've never had that experience in your life. And half the times, he'd never even had the experience in his life. Like, you think Bruce Springsteen was working a minimum wage job at a factory? Well, actually, they usually don't pay you minimum wage at a factory, but that's not the point. You think he was working at a factory at any point in his life? No. What the fuck? He's Bruce Springsteen. But he makes you think he did. I mean, you think he's ever actually put fuel heads on a 396 engine? No. You know why? You can't. It's not fucking possible. But he makes you think he did. He makes you feel like he did. And I think that's like the best part of his songs. I mean, you feel yourself there. And there's also the flip side where it's your experience. And it's not what he's singing about necessarily, but somehow it still fits it. It still fits that exact experience. Now, I mean, that is very, very specifically with, oh my God, there's so many things I could say about that one. I have a future episode planned. Somebody wanted to actually do an episode on this, and I'm very excited for that one. I'm so excited to film that one. But it's going to be on Bruce Springsteen and his relation to, the LGBT community and experience, and why so many of his younger fans are LGBT. Because I don't know a single young Bruce Springsteen fan I've met who wasn't LGBT in some form. I can't think of them. They're all LGBT, and a lot of them also aren't white, I feel like. Maybe that's just me. A lot of Springsteen fans nowadays, the younger ones, are not white. I feel like he just really appeals to minorities in that sense. I mean, he appeals to, LGBT people, people of color. Everyone who's felt that fucking sting of you're not wanted, I feel like he gets that, even if he's never really experienced it in that way. You know what I mean? I mean, it's about the freedom, the desire to leave and be free, be you. And he just embodies it so well. And the way he loves in a lot of his songs, even when it's the darker side of things, the more toxic side of things he's portraying, it still just hits a lot of us. I think a lot of us just understand it. It's how we love, even if it is the more toxic side of things. People love like that too. It's not good for them, but they do. I mean, he just understands how we love and how we want to be free, and I just think that really hits just a lot of LGBT people. And I'm going way too in depth in this one because I'm not going to give any of the examples, I guess, because that'll probably be for the future episode. But oh my God, we'll revisit this because I'm about to ruin my whole show right now. So next we're going to talk about the E Street Band, because yes baby, yes, I mean, Bruce Springsteen is good. Bruce Springsteen's talented. He's obviously a talented singer. He's a talented artist. But, I mean, that voice alone is not the only part of the sound. At the end of the day, he is not Bruce Springsteen without the E Street Band. I am so sorry, but he isn't. It's just not the same. It's one of the reasons I've never liked Nebraska. It's not even that I think all the songs are bad. It's not that I think it's necessarily a terrible album. Well, I do think it's a terrible album, but not for that reason. I mean, he did not have the E Street Band in that, and it just sucked. I'm sorry. I do like some of the songs. I love Johnny 99. That's definitely probably in my top 30, 40 Springsteen songs. It's not that great, but it's good. It's a good song. But it's just, there's no E Street Band, and you can tell. It feels different. It sounds different. It's just wrong. The E Street Band is the sound. It's the soul. It's that it's a part of it just as much as Bruce himself is. I mean, it is Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. It is not Bruce Springsteen. I don't give a fuck. It is not just that bitch. It is Bruce Springsteen and the goddamn E Street Band. That's it. That's that's as much as I should probably say there. I'm gonna get pissed. The E Street Band, Bruce Springsteen sold out a little, I will admit, with Nebraska, and I hate to admit that because I hate to admit that some of my favorite artists have sold out. I really do. When I talk about sellouts, we could talk about Queen, but I'll get to that in a future episode too. Ooh, those bitches sold out real quick. Ooh, I got strong opinions on that one. But I mean, he never sold out too hard that you couldn't still feel some of the original Bruce in it, you know? You couldn't still grasp it. It never felt like he truly sold his soul to the devil. And so then when he came back with the E Street Band, I don't know that we were that surprised. I don't know that we were. I don't know that anyone was. I think even when he was off doing Nebraska, it was always still Bruce. It was still Bruce. And I think that's the important part. That's what we all want. We want Bruce. I always want Bruce. Baby. Ooh. That's oh my god. What else can we talk about? Oh, we're still talking about the E Street Band. I'm going to talk about Clarence Clemons because, first of all, rest in peace, Clarence Clemons. But oh my god, he's so good. He was so amazingly talented. Oh my lord. He was so good. See, this is what I mean. Like, the sound is as important to the songs as Bruce was. You listen to Jungle Land, that song makes me cry every time. It makes my 63-year-old grown man father cry every time. And it is the lyrics. It is the lyrics. The lyrics make us cry, admittedly. But it's also, in part, it's the music. I mean, oh my god, the saxophone. The sax solo in that, I cried to that so much. Cried to that so much. Feel like maybe you guys should hear about my first time listening to Springsteen, because it sucked. I hated him. And then I'll actually tell you guys how I got into him too. I think we could do both. Yeah, we'll do that. So the first time I ever listened to Springsteen was with my dad in our basement, and that's where we usually hang out. That's actually where we hang out and listen to Springsteen now. It's really fun. It's our little bonding time. But, you know, I was down there. I was just visiting him in his little office area. It's his little man cave down there. And, you know, he has, like, this desk, and he has this little jukebox radio. And, you know, he always has, like, a six-pack. And, you know, it's just a chill place. He's got a lot of lighters, so I'll go down there, have a smoke. He'll have a cigar. It's just chill. It's our place. It's mine and his place. It's just so warm, and it just makes me happy. Anyways. I feel like I probably shouldn't be going that in depth about my basement, but it is. It's just a place for me, you know? Anyways, we were down there, and, you know, I was probably like 11 or 12 at this point, and I don't know, I was probably younger even. But anyways, he puts on, you know, this one fucking CD, and it sucked. It sucked. It was slow, and it was boring. There wasn't even a guitar or the drums or nothing. It was so fucking boring. And it was, of course, you know, as expected, it was Darkness on the Edge of Town by Bruce Springsteen, my now all-time favorite album. Bruce and I had a bit of a rough start there, can you tell? So then, I mean, I never liked him. All through high school, I never liked Springsteen. And then senior year, I had this teacher, and his name was Mr. Mulhall. He was my AP English teacher. He actually retired at the end of the year. He retired, and I don't know whatever happened to him. I hope he's doing good, though. He was a very sweet guy. He was a huge Springsteen fan. His favorite song was Thunder Road. It's actually my favorite song, too. But, he was a huge Springsteen fan. And he had us read some of Bruce's lyrics in class. And I read them. And I read them, you know? I read them, and then I went and I listened to the songs. I listened to the songs that were from. It's just like, okay, I mean, I've never been a huge Springsteen fan, but we'll listen to it. We'll see what it's about. Because these lyrics are good. I love the lyrics. I love the writing. I'm a writer. I've always been all about the words and how those look and how they feel and how they flow. I've always loved writing. So I went and I listened to the songs. And, I was listening to a few. I was jamming. I liked Badlands. I liked Thunder Road. I was just sort of vibing. I really like Sherry Darling. I still really like Sherry Darling. That's just one of my feel-good, happy songs. It's not like really, there's not a lot of meaning in there, but it's good. It's a good song. It makes me happy. I enjoy it. Sometimes you just need a song like that, even amongst Springsteen's songs. There's something like that. So, anyways, then, Backstreets comes on. And Backstreets, there's two songs. There's two songs that have made me cry every time I've listened to them by Bruce Springsteen. It's Backstreets and it's Jungleland. And I sat down on the edge of that curb. I just sat down and I cried like a baby. I just cried and cried. Oh my God, I had never heard anything so goddamn beautiful in my life. I just hadn't. There was nothing I had heard in my life that was as amazing and incredible as that, and as fucking heart-wrenching. It tugged on my heartstrings, and it was everything. I couldn't tell you exactly where I knew that experience from, but it was my experience. It was Bruce Springsteen's Backstreets, and I knew it. And that was truly the start of me loving Bruce Springsteen. There was nothing else after that. I was done for. I cried, and I've never turned his music off since. I was done. So, that's my story. That's my origin story. That's my fucking that's my origin story, right? I'm a fucking super villain. I would be such a good villain, honestly. I'm gonna have my kid on here next week. My kid, my son, my little son. I'm gonna have him on here next week, and we're gonna talk about my villain origin story for a minute. I'm gonna have to make him do that, or maybe next week. I don't know when I'm gonna upload these, honestly. I'm still figuring it out. We're working on it. No, but I sat there and I cried. And there's still songs that can make me cry. Songs that, occasionally make me cry with the right settings. Those two are the only ones that do it regardless. I come on in the middle of a fucking party, and I would sit down and just, the tears, it'd be fucking waterworks. But the other ones who make me cry a lot, Incident on 57th Street gets me, and I don't know why. The first time I really, listened to that whole song, though, I was at Ohio University, and I was standing outside in the rain. It was pouring rain. I was under this fucking, overhang thing. I was having a smoke. I was having a cigarette because, I'm disgusting. I have a fucking nicotine addiction. It's nasty. Don't do that, kids. But I was having a smoke, and it comes on, and I didn't, normally I'd turn it off because it wasn't a song I knew, which is stupid because I'm trying to find more songs. What the fuck? So I let it play this time. And I sat down, and I had my cigarette, and I was smoking it. And I had to stop smoking it because I started sobbing. I just started fucking crying over this song. I don't know why. It wasn't the lyrics, I don't think. It might have been the lyrics. It could have been the lyrics. But it was just, it hit me somewhere deep, deep inside. And I just cried like a baby. Oh my God, I cried. I really cried. Properly. And the other time was actually also out in the rain at college when I was having a cigarette. I feel like that's gonna be a pretty common theme you'll hear from me. I have cigarettes a lot. I smoke with my Springsteen a lot is what happens. I always have to have music on when I smoke, and it's always either Tamino or Springsteen because they are just such good smoking music. I don't know why. So anyways, I was outside and I was having a smoke, and I was with my friend, and I just had my music on shuffle. We were just listening to it, and Racing in the Street comes on. It comes on, and we're just sitting there. We're just chilling. Neither of us is really talking. And I started crying like a fucking bitch. Not necessarily like bad crying, but just I was crying. It wasn't like sobbing like it was with any of the other ones, with, Backstreets or Jungleland or Incident on 57th Street. It wasn't sobbing. It was just crying. It was good crying, and it felt cleansing. And, my friend was a little worried about me, but I was just like, I don't know, man, it just feels good. He was like, I bet. But I just, God fucking damn that. That just hit, it just fucking hit. It just hit. It just hit. That is, I'm gonna say that a lot. I don't really know how to explain my thoughts without using like the technical terms a lot of the times. So I'm just gonna kind of use the language I do in my everyday life. It just hit me. And there's other songs where it just hit, and I listen to them sometimes, and I'm just like, fuck. Like The Promised Land, ooh, that one hits. Independence Day hits. Adam Raised a Cain hits. It hits. It hits me right in my goddamn soul. I mean, oh my god, I don't have daddy issues, I have mommy issues, but still, it's all the same thing at the end of the day. We all have issues with our parents, right? Isn't that relatable, right? No, but I mean, The Promised Land, I remember I listened to that when I was at college, and I just sat there. And I mean, it just fucking hit, man. I don't know. It just hit. It just hit so right. It hit. It hit. Oh god, yeah, it was amazing. I mean, he has so many songs that just knocked me on my ass to the point where I had to sit down to listen to them because I did not know how to handle it emotionally. He just makes me feel so much with his music. I didn't. Oh my god. I think it's also funny that Adam Raised a Cain is my mom's favorite song. Like, baby, your dad's great. You have good relationships with, like, both of your parents. What is you talking about, honey? Make it make sense. But, like, I don't know. I'm also really kind of. I feel bad. I feel like I should be, one of the more modern Springsteen fans, right? Like, I should like his new music more. I shouldn't, be having the same old white man opinions, but I do have the same old white man opinions. My top 3 albums are Darkness on the Edge of Town, Wild Innocent, East Street Shuffle, and Born to Run, and that's in order. I I have the music opinions on Bruce Springsteen of an old white man, and I kind of feel bad about it, but they're so good. Those albums are so good. I also love Born in the USA, but I remember one time I mentioned that to somebody when I worked at Starbucks, and she was like, "Oh, that's such a patriotic song." No, it's not, bitch. Listen to the fucking song. I hate America. This country, no, not about it. It's not patriotic, baby. It's just not. Like, I would not be listening to it if it was. That's not how I roll. It's not patriotic. You know what? That's one that's misunderstood a lot, and especially by the old white men fans. Old white men are just, I cannot tell if I was gonna say disappointing or disgusting there, but like, they're both, they're fucking both, baby. White men, no. No, but I don't know. Old white men just don't understand shit. And they don't understand Springsteen, I'm gonna say, because all of them are fucking conservatives and Republicans, and it's like, are you stupid? He don't like your ass. He don't like your ass. I made sure he wasn't a fucking conservative before I got his lyrics tattooed on me. Got his fucking lyrics tattooed on me. You're gonna sit here and tell me that he represents the true American ideals of your Republican ass beliefs? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. That's just not how it is. Shut the fuck up. I mean, you can like him, don't get me wrong. I'll never gatekeep music. I don't think music should be gatekeeped unless it's like punk. I do gatekeep punk, because, like, if you're a conservative, you're not punk, baby. That's not how it works. I'm punk. I'm fucking punk. Goddamn. Yeah, I'm fucking punk. But no, if you're a conservative, you're not punk. That's another story. We'll talk about that at a later date, because I can already think of who I want to talk about that with, and I think he'd be down for it. So anyways, I do not gatekeep Bruce Springsteen's music, but at the end of the day, they just can't claim him. He's not a conservative. That's just not how he is. I would not be a fan of him or have related to his lyrics or gotten those lyrics tattooed on my body if he was a conservative. That just is what it is. Anyways, I think that's about all I have to say, maybe. I actually probably have to say more, but I feel like I'm probably annoying now, and this was supposed to be a short episode because it was just the intro episode. And it's already, oh my god, we are almost to the 26-minute mark. So, we're going to cut it off here. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And I almost forgot the most important part, but shout out to @RosemPosies on Instagram for drawing the cover art to this. It looks so cool and so amazing, and they did such a good job with that. That's tagged in the bios for all of my socials, so please check them out, give them some love, because they are so amazing. Alright, so now that's actually the end. Bye.